Hi everyone, my name is Autumn. I'm going to be talking today about something I'm sure you all know of, social media and self-esteem. So most of you I know use social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. It's a big part of our daily lives, but we don't really know what effect that has on our self-esteem. So I wanted to see if social media has a positive or a negative effect on our self-esteem. Self-esteem is something, of course, that is very, very important for our well-being, very important for our physical and mental health. So this is something that I really wanted to dig more deep into and look at. So I looked up 3 surveys. One of them studied pre-adolescence, one of them was for university students, and one of them was for Facebook, just on its own. So we're going to take a look at all of those. The first one was published by Sage Journals. It took a look at pre-adolescents, so people around 12 to 14 years old, seeing if the number of likes they get on a social media such as Instagram or Facebook correlates directly with their self-esteem. So they did find a positive relationship with likes and self-esteem. So the more likes you get on Facebook, the better they felt about themselves. However, they also found an increased dependency on popularity for social media. So the more they got, the more they really wanted to be popularity. And in turn, that really made them dependent on social approval, which in turn ended up being a negative thing. And as we know, being a teenager, being an adolescent is a very important stage in our life. It's a growing stage. So these teenagers being so dependent on social media for popularity can end up being a negative thing. The second survey I looked at was from SMAQ, or the Social Media Addiction Questionnaire, and they actually studied university students to see if their social media use had a relationship with self-esteem. They actually did find out that they had a negative relationship. So unlike the pre-adolescents, with the more social media they were using, the more their self-esteem was going down. And as social media use has increased in 10% in the past couple of years, we know that this is going to be something that we need to keep a close eye on. They also noticed that the social media use started to affect their daily lives, and they started to get addicted to it. So it's easy for social media when we use it to compare our lives to someone else, whether we're looking at models or fitness bloggers, something like that. So I think looking at these studies, we can take a closer look at that and really see, when we use that, what it's really doing to us as a person, how we look at ourselves. So the third study was just on Facebook. It looked at Facebook use and how it contributed to self-esteem, of course. It was published by the Cyber Psychology and Social Networking Journal. So what they actually found was that Facebook use contributed to narcissism, most specifically when you are self-promoting. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen bloggers, people that publish about their food, anything. When you're promoting yourself online, you're increasing your levels of narcissism, which, yes, it's good to promote ourselves, but we also need to take a look at why we are doing it, and, if we're doing it too much, it might start to become a problem. But actually, it also contributed to the narcissism and the low self-esteem. So although we feel better about ourselves, we're not looking at ourselves in a better way. So it's easy to glorify yourself online to make it look like you're doing better than you actually are, but in reality what we're doing is we are damaging ourselves inside and internally. So from these test results, you can see that it's not all one result. It really depends on our age, it depends on who we are as a person. Sometimes there's a positive correlation, sometimes there's a negative correlation. But I think the consensus we can draw is that social media can have a damaging effect if we're using it for the wrong reasons. And being popular online, no matter what people may think, having 500,000 followers on Instagram doesn't mean you're going to like yourself better than if you have 10 followers on Instagram. So as we know, there is an increase in social media. It's something that's going to continue to go up through the years. So I think it's something that we should take a serious look at, how we are using social media, if we're using it for the right reasons, if we're using it to compare ourselves to others, or if we're using it to connect with people, which I believe is the reason why it was so prominent in the first place. So thank you, everyone.
Is that 5 minutes?